the Knight Riders today, another 20, 30, I don't know what the calculation is, but another 20, 30 runs perhaps in terms of a deficit, and they could have been right at the bottom. So this is not very far from them. They're looking at this and saying, what has happened to our campaign? This is 4 out of 14 games. This is now not the beginning of the tournament anymore. Joy.
Yeah, look, yes, true. But I think they'll take some amount of heart from the second part of that innings and say that, we almost made the impossible possible. If they had, been shot out for 100, there would have been devastation in the camp. As in, they would have gone back and said, we are just not good enough to play this game. Now they're turning around and said, you know what? A game where we were 31 for 5, we took it down to the last over where guys were still getting scared. I mean, MS Dhoni is still wondering about fielding positions and saying, if we can get this far in a lost game, you know what? We win 3 games and we are close.
I mean, yeah, see, you've got, again, this is amazing because I like the fact that both of you have a completely different, polar opposite point of view about this, right? I mean, Joy is saying, yes, it was a great recovery. Pommie is saying maybe this recovery is even more heartbreaking because you're just like, I was so close. It's probably sometimes easier to sleep at night where you go, we had a rubbish day, we were just never in the game. You're probably thinking that Punjab has slept a little easier today than the Knight Riders will, Pommie.
Yeah, so let me clear up that in my opening gambit, I was talking about the fans. If you're the fans and you're watching this,
okay.
you're
Fair
being
enough.
taken for this big ride and you're thinking, oh, we're going to get there, and then you don't get there. So that's horrible. And if you lose by 80, you can handle it. You're out of the game. You always were. In terms of what it does for the rest of the tournament, I tend to be a little bit, because they're a struggling side, the Kolkata Knight Riders, things haven't gone according to plan. I tend to think they will take some heart out of it because all of a sudden they're saying, the guys who are the 5 who get out for 31, they're saying, well, actually, we have no reason to be despondent. We have no reason to think, oh, the way I play, I must protect what goes behind me. Not that they were thinking that anyway, but maybe it was lodged in the back of their minds. I think this kind of frees them up to say, well, actually, if we're going to go down, at the very least, let's go down having done this, because this is what we can play like this. So I go out there, suss conditions, see what they're like, and if the day is, hey, this is a good pitch and I can go, then I go. And it doesn't matter how many are out, I must still go, because if I don't go, we're going to end up on the losing side. We're going to end up with not enough runs. And I think the modern player, the contemporary player now of 2020 cricket, the batsman, somehow is able to clear out all that stuff that says, oh, rebuild, or, well, you've got to make sure that you consolidate your position for who's coming behind you. No. The consolidation of the position is it there? Can I whack it? I whack it. They're still all cricket shots, but there's an ultra aggression that goes on that says, I've got to make sure I'm putting as much pressure back on this team so that they're not taking the initiative from us. They're getting wickets, fine, but they need something to think about as well. And Russell, when he came in, wasn't hitting for the sake of hitting. Dinesh Karthik, they weren't hitting for the sake of hitting. Yes, in the back of the minds, you might think they might say, oh, it's a lost cause, or no. They're saying we have to hit from here on to make sure we win the game. They're trying to win the game from there. And that's the mindset. And they've got to keep it, whichever team they play against.